Hello. Oh, let me turn the reverb off. Reverb. Testing. Do a testing.
1, 2, 3.
Try it now.
1, 2, 3.
Now.
3, 2, 1.
All right. That'll work. Hi guys. I'm Dan Monahan. We're doing second part to the Days of Apollo that I didn't get finished from the last time, and I'm here with my friend George Morris.
Hello, it's me. Hello.
We are out in nature tonight doing our show. We're just using a portable studio. We are kind of secluded underneath these highway bridge thing, not too far away from some tracks that are unused. We just walked up the tracks and thought we found a dead body, but it appears to be somebody that has passed out from either drinking or is just sleeping.
It's a small audience.
Right. I think he came here in preparation of knowing that we would be here for him. Okay. So let's get through this. The last time I was talking about Freemasonry, and everybody knows I'm anti-Illuminati. We were talking about how the Illuminati's got a plan, and it's called the New World Order. We've been hearing about it for quite a while. George Bush, Obama's talked about it. All the major presidents since probably Eisenhower have somewhat spoke of some type of New World Order, even though Inky is the one, Azazel is the one that actually devised the plan. And that was way before the flood, the Great Flood. So let me get through this. We were talking about the powers of the earth, the Vinca disc, as I showed. You remember that disc, George? Yeah. The language that they say has never been translated, even though you can match it up with all the symbols that they say is Vinca. So I kind of wonder about if you didn't translate it, how do you know that you can put this on a chart and know that it's Vinca? But I guess it's on all their artifacts that they have found in that civilization, that area that they had excavated. Let me see here. All right, how far did I get? We were talking about the earth, the state of the earth, and I'm thinking about our next episode is going to be called not real estate, but real state. So that's just letting you know how the state of things really are. So we have the United Nations using the flag, using the flat earth map as their symbol. But the earth is round. It's a sphere. And these are all different maps from the old world where they were trying to figure out how can they make it bend to make it a global type of deal. That's what they were trying to do, actually. That's why they're so confusing. This is the early turn of the century map that we use, square and stationary Earth. That was devised by, right there is how, this is off the Perry Reese map. I think we talked about it real quick. Right in the very middle is where I'm going to show you the cyclone. I call it the cyclone vortex, where the North Pole is. And a lot of people think that the cyclone goes down. They don't realize, no, all the power goes upward. And it recycles up through the firmament, and it recycles all the water around it, and then it comes up through the bottom of the abyss and recycles that water. So that's how we keep living, people. God made us a recyclable terrarium that cleans its own air, cleans its own water. That's why all this crap about what they call global warming, or that it's all, we got way too much pollution. Well, it's not good to pollute, I agree, and they need to keep that down, but it gets recycled regardless. And if God's talking about being here another 1,000 years, which we're going to be for a minimum at least, because of the 1,000-year reign, I think they have to have a recyclable deal going on with this pollution going on. This is another map they used. It shows you actually how the sun works too. This is the new Space Force, or whatever they call it, the Space Federation. Okay. This is where they are located at, Antarctica. You can no longer find it on Google Earth, even though it says it there at the bottom. Yes, it was found at 2017. And then after that, when they found out, people like me knew how to get to the right elevation to where it would appear, and you had to have it perfect. Other than that, it'd just be blotted out and be white. like the rest of Antarctica that they show, all white as snow, all white as snow. Come on. Yeah, they got places there. Obviously, you can see there's buildings. And you notice, guess what this new Space Federation's building looks like?
Flat Earth man?
A dome
Okay.
from above. A dome.
Okay.
And yeah, it resembles the flat Earth, how you would look down on it,
Yeah.
how God looks down on it. There is the pyramid that Buzz Aldrin freaked out about and showed on he showed the front end of it. He showed the 3D version of you looking at it from street view, and said that there is a great evil there awaiting us. He was in great fear. And by the way, the rest of the pyramids, they all line up just like the ones in Egypt, and they line up like Orion.
On the 33rd parallel.
Now, why do they do that? You want to know why? I can tell you why, but do you know why, George?
You can tell me.
Why are they lined up like that? They're PowerPoints.
PowerPoints on a ley line, is what I think.
Well, that, and they line up with the spirits of energy above, right? So what's that going to do? Fracture the firmament.
Okay.
Bust it. They want to bust the firmament. Once they bust the firmament, they know that all the demons, the chiefs, can be free to come down. You get it? The chiefs are the head of all the fallen angels. Those are the ones that were with Satan, the cherubim, the chief cherubim, over the seraphim. The seraphim did all the dirty work. They're the ones that are in the abyss. There are two prisons for these fallen angels. The one is the abyss. The other one is above us, and it's trapped in the firmament with the other watchers who do keep their post and keep an eye on them, making sure they don't try to bust through. But if we bust them through, what's it like you're doing? It's like you're allowing a vampire to come in your house. You know what I'm saying?
You're aiding and abetting.
Well, it's they cannot harm you unless you request them to, almost.
True.
Unless you try to get them to do it, unless you try to let them in. I tried to show you something real quick about how these videos work anymore, where it's just so easy to manipulate video, and that everybody believes everything they see on the screen now.
Yeah.
And how I did that within a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
You know, if I can do that within a matter of seconds,
Yeah.
you know. This is another point of that. You notice anything strange there, George?
What about the sun?
This is the International Space Station.
About the fish
There's
eye
several
lens?
pictures. This is they use a lens, and they also use they have it like a screen, a black screen.
Yeah.
And then they'll use a light and stick it right in front of it, and then call it the sun.
Okay.
All right. Now, do you notice anything out in so-called space that looks strange?
The so-called stars?
Yeah, I don't see any stars.
Is it just reflections?
What do you see below the sun and right to the left of it?
Sphere of some sort? What is it?
Come on, what would the UFO people think?
Oh, they would think it's Nibiru?
You don't see any UFOs?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I see those all through there. I don't.
Oh,
I don't
point
think,
at them for me.
I don't
Which
think
one?
they're UFOs. I mean,
What do you think they are? I mean, what's that?
I don't know.
What's that right there? That's separate. It's
Yeah.
not even part of the International Space Station.
Yeah, that is Shepard. I don't know.
What is it?
I think it's I think that Apollyon has his own little redished area up there that's controlling the show, like a production, like a Hollywood production. Myself, that's just my theory.
You do. You don't think that I did it?
Maybe, I don't know. I guess.
That's me doing
Okay.
some
Okay.
CGI for you
Okay.
people. Right. Those two UFOs you see around the so-called sun are not UFOs.
Yeah.
It's just simply me just laying something down on top of it and tricking it and masking it in to where it looks real.
Yeah, that's what depended on anything you see.
This doesn't look real, by the way. This is just kind of funny. That does not look real. That looks ridiculous. But if I took time to it, believe me, I could have masked it in to where it would have tricked thousands and millions of people. Look, there's aliens behind you. First of all, if something like that appeared behind me, they wouldn't be aliens now, would they? They'd be demons. And that's what they are, because they look evil. They got the eyes. They have no genitalia. Ha 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 ha. They're laughing at us, people.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
This is a recent picture that they just put out for us that NASA did. And they told us, hey, let's visit this galaxy again. Now, what do you notice about that galaxy?
What is the Milky Way? Supposedly.
Let your eyes tell you something. What's it look like?
The
Eye of Horus.
Okay.
Does it not?
Yeah, it sure does. When you turn it inside.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're even masking their CGI to make it resemble the symbols that they use to do their worship for satanic reasons. Yeah, it's a sigil. This is a picture from the International Space Station, and I noticed there was a raindrop out there.
Yeah.
Now, do you think you'd find a raindrop out in a vacuum of space? No. Do you know why a vacuum can't exist out in space in the first place?
Yeah, I believe that too.
There's 1,000 reasons why that can't be the case. For one, if aliens were to send you a signal, how's it going to travel through a vacuum? It wouldn't travel.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
It'd be impossible.
All that stuff.
It has to have substance to travel. Space is supposedly nothing, right? So how is sound even going to travel through space? It can't. They told you that if an explosion happens, that you wouldn't hear it. Well, then why do you think you can get a signal all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Why do you think you can even see light from outer space?
How they sent a signal in
You
1969.
cannot get anything out of a vacuum, people, because a vacuum is what? The lack of everything. That's why everything sucks in. All right, there's another crappy picture Google Earth has done of the Earth. Now, it's just so horrible, I can't believe it. Now, just a while ago, all right, I took this picture, and then within seconds, boom, the International Space Station traveled 500,000 miles. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, within seconds, seconds, this was the next part of it. Within seconds.
Yeah, that's it.
How do they travel that fast to where you got that curve bending like that? Exactly. Now, this is a real picture.
And then they go back and repeat.
This is real. You know, this is above, I believe, not too far away from the mission, Clarksburg mission, and the library. See that red dot out there?
Uh-huh.
Wow, what's it look like? Well, let me zoom in on it. It definitely don't look like a star, does it?
No.
Definitely don't look like a... It's not a drone either, people. It is what we would call a UFO. And now some of these are reverse engineered. The simple us using high tech. And believe me, they can make them do stuff that's crazy. But some of them are the ones that you think of, wow, that just broke all physics. It didn't even... It's because it's not physical. Some of that stuff isn't physical. Some of it's interdimensional.
That's exactly what that
And if it's interdimensional, that means it works on a totally different level. It's all spiritual. That's it. Closer. That's it. That red line.
Yes, okay.
Now, this light would go off every so often. And this would have turned into, after the light went off, and you can see it tilting UFO.
Yeah, you can see that. Yeah.
That is simple to see. So I'm telling you, people, UFOs exist. They're just not what you think they are. Okay, let's get through this pretty quick.
Yeah.
This is how the top of the upper atmosphere, and this is what they would call low Earth orbit.
From a boom shot.
This is low, not upper Earth orbit, low Earth orbit. Now, here's the thing. It's not really an orbit. So it's just, I call it the low Earth atmosphere, which is actually the high Earth atmosphere. So in other words, I'm telling you, you're at almost up to the firmament. Soon that balloon is going to bust. If you notice, you see a white thing over to your right thing, that is the balloon flying off.
Okay.
After it busted when it hit the top. Over to your left, that is the sun.
It's not 93 million miles away.
No. And we got a lot of facts that we can use our own science and realize that all this stuff they're saying is just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that if you think about it, the ones that believe in a spherical Earth and believe what they're saying, you are making yourself and God look like a retard. You really are. You're bending your own science. You're bending what you're trying to uphold like you're smart. But then again, you know what I'm saying? A gallon of water weighs, I mean, there are 6 trillion tons of water on the Earth, right? Yeah. So yet gravity cannot hold a balloon to its atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's a very good fact. And my main point is, and this pretty much shuts mouths right off the bat, so you don't have to keep coming up with facts and points. Level. Why? What about what that construction worker uses every day?
Yeah.
Level.
Yeah.
Level with what?
That's a good point too.
Level with what? If we are on a spherical Earth, how can it be level?
Yeah. Where would you go from?
I mean, no, that doesn't make sense.
If you were too far this way.
Right. So there has to be there's a totally different way of science and physics that we're halfway working on, and then we're mostly not.
Yeah.
And then so it's like,
So it's a little confusing.
yeah, and we have to realize that there is an up and there's a down, and that's it. You can't turn it upside down. You know what I'm saying? What stays up that's going to be the up.
Yeah.
The only way it comes down is when God throws it down. That's the truth. Yeah.
This hell.
Here's all your pyramids
You're
that we would love to say that, oh, this is just 500 BC, Mayans. How do you know? No. How do you know that was at the same time the Egyptians were around, and they're just giving you a different date
This different time.
to throw you off?
Exactly right.
Because Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, also matches up with what I was talking to you about, the cherubim, the fallen cherubim, right? These were the chiefs that deceived man right off the bat. And the sons of Cain, there was the time before the flood, not the sons of Seth, but the ones that went wayward right off the bat and did everything that these fallen angels wanted them to do. They had no problem with it because Cain, he was mad at God. He was rejected. He's deceived, so he was going to go with it. And if you realize, the first city that was ever built was called Enoch. Now, what happened later on? Satan got his way and transferred things over to where, the most righteous man on the earth afterwards, well, let's name him Enoch so everybody get confused.
Okay.
Well, his name's not Enoch, first of all. His name is Enos, or Hanok, not Enoch. So that's the devil trying to confuse you once again. So when I talk about Enoch, really I shouldn't even be saying that. But the only reason why I do is because that's what people can relate to.
Yes.
Because that's the one they know the most. So I'm going to try to correct that more often, because then I've had a couple of them realize there was an Enoch of Cain. And you're like, wait a second. But wait a second, if they used Enochian magic, that means he was bad. Oh, we're not talking about the same Enoch. We're talking about Cain's Enoch. That was his first son's name. And he named the city Enoch. And they started building these PowerPoints right off the bat because they knew it was going to happen. They already knew. The seraphim, when they found out, when Hanuk came and told them, listen, God's not going to forgive you. The only ones he might forgive, they really better be sorry, are the demonic children. And that's the only reason why they get a chance is because they're not of heaven. They are of the earth. Even though their parents are of heaven, they are of the earth. So, I mean, they're going to have powers and stuff, obviously, because guess what? These fallen angels, they know a lot of stuff. You know, they know how to get the genes up to its highest points. Sure. So that's why they seem like powerful beings. That's why they were the mighty men of renown.
Yes.
The Egyptians knew the earth was like that. The Navajos knew it.
Yeah.
The Incas knew it was a terrarium.
And there's still the shot callers.
Now, why do we have perfectly aligned clouds like that? Does nature work like that?
No.
No. That means that's been manipulated. All right, I'm going to get to this real quick. These are pictures of the sun showing you that it is local. That's plain to see, right, George?
Yeah.
We'll let you talk a little bit more here. The plasma moon. Now, if you really look at that, you can see how it resembles plasma.
Looks like a screen.
It was like kind of like one of those balloon balls. Remember those big balloon balls we used to get that were real thick rubber kind of?
Oh, yeah, the rubber
They
ones.
weren't like the plastic.
Okay.
Who's out there? Stop. Oh, that's that dude, ain't it? Is that you, George?
No.
No.
He's over there.
All right. Well, don't talk. Have a good night. We're going through space and we're going to go through a wormhole.
Jedi warriors over there.
People,
Yikes.
get out of fantasy land. If you realize God's got so much better I mean, stuff is going to be just blow your mind. Forget about Star Wars. All right. There's your flat Earth. That's the one that this is what the Air Force uses now on a regular basis. This is what a lot of the airliners use.
Their training manual.
This is believe it or not, this isn't CGI. It kind of looks kind of messed up, mostly because it was off of an old picture. But that is where the stars, where we're pretty much showing you how they go around the firmament.
Looks like the dome.
Right. And so that was in a good desert night. And it's not a very good picture, really. I wish I could get a more up-to-date picture. But yeah, you've seen nights like that, haven't you?
Yeah.
And I tell you, if you go to the right spots on the Earth, then you can get it to look like that. And the way you dictate north every time is if you realize that if you watch a star, it's going to go upward like that in an arch, come back down to the left like this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then go right down the middle. There's your north.
Okay.
So what we're looking at is north.
True north.
True north. There's flat. No fisheye lens, like you said. This is that same pyramid from the very beginning that we've always been going by and putting on our dollar bill. This was antediluvian. This was made out of what they call the the special stone, lapis lazuli. No, not lapis. That's wrong. The lapis lazuli is kind of a bluish stone. This is a special stone that they used a lot. They used it for operations. The chief angels, it showed man how to do abortions, all kinds of cool stuff. And I'll show you the genetic disc. But at the bottom here, there's an inscription, and you see what? The same alignment for the pyramids, same alignment for the stars of Orion.
It's a mapping.
Telling you that there's something special about Orion. And, well, it tells me that Orion, to them, is a chief angel.
Yeah, because they call
and
it
that they
bells.
want to come down, and that basically all the other angels are keeping an eye on because he's in the center.
I think they call it Orion's
So
bells.
right, and but at the same time, if the center star, the biggest one, the Pyramid of Giza, that would represent that chief angel, which is probably Lucifer.
Yes.
So Orion, to me, is a Lucifer. That's who I think it is. And the reason why you saw that inscription next to it is to let you know Jesus Christ is going to beat him. Because what the inscription says is, the sun cometh.
Okay.
So that's what that inscription says. Right there, see that big one in the middle?
Yes.
That's the Pyramid of Giza, the big dot. All right. This is letting you know that power comes from above. This is the genetic disc. You ever seen it?
Yes, I have. I understand it.
I wish I remember how to pronounce the name of that stone it's made out of. Ladnium, something weird. Professor, Dr. blah, 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 what's his name? Can't remember his name either. Very, very, very important guy. He revealed this to a lot of people, but you can't find the video. You can find it on my old channel now. I still keep it on there, but he shows a lot of relics that are very, very important. Those are the operating tools made out of that same stone, that same type of material.
They did brain operations back then and everything.
Yes, they knew how to do
Eye
everything.
surgeries.
This was done to do the pull out. This was help deliveries. This protects the head. You put the thumb on the face, and that scooper thing is for its head.
Wow.
These instruments are much bigger than what they look. Comparison. Some more.
A lot of technology.
This is real pictures of giants that were found and excavated. Of course, some photoshopped in response to them finding giants, put out a contest. Who can make the best giant picture?
Oh,
What's
really?
that tell you?
Yeah,
It means they're going to try to make it look like, every picture you see, it can be faked.
of course.
Well, of course, every picture can be faked. That doesn't mean every picture is fake.
This is disinformation.
Right. It's to confuse you.
Truth
There's
line
a real.
side of-
These are real skulls.
Yes.
These are not fake. That tells you this is what we call the Anunnaki.
Yes.
The Anunnaki. Now I'm going to tell you about the sons of Anak. Those guys are different, but they're closely related. What's so closely related? Anunnaki means the sons of Anu. That's what it means. It does not mean those from above. Get that out of your head. How does that relate to that? Come on, tell me. Tell me. From above. I don't get anything out of that. I don't care. I'm not a professional at translation, but come on, it doesn't take a genius to figure out if their chief god, who they barely mentioned anymore, instead they start talking about his sons that went bad, like Satan and stuff like that, the ones he made, tells me that if his name is Anu, that's his name, that's God. But he gets distorted later on. They try to give him a consort. You know what I mean? Just to make it look like, oh, well, he's normal like the rest of the guys that took wives amongst themselves. You know what I mean? And he had parents too. And the son can become greater than the father. No, he cannot. Christ made it clear. No servant is greater than its master. No, the father cannot be greater than his son. And that's just to make you think that it's possible that anybody can become a god.
All of us
So
together make it.
what it tells you is Anunnaki, sons of Anu, sons of Anak are the sons of the Anunnaki.
Okay. Fallen
Get it?
angels, yeah.
So the Anunnaki are the fallen angels.
Yeah, they're from above, basically.
So the sons of Anak are the Nephilim.
Yes.
You get it?
Yes.
All right, the sons of the
It's a
Anunnaki.
trickle down.
Yeah. So, and the Bible talks about it.
Of course it
One real quick, of course.
Yeah, only a couple of places they get it.
They edited out the rest.
Of course, King James and all that jazz.
Of course, and anybody that does not, I know you all want to just believe in your heart that there's some pure scripture. No, there isn't.
No,
Everything's been tainted.
definitely.
Everything.
Truth and lie. are
Christ
side
said
by
it
side.
himself. Nothing of this earth can be holy.
Nothing.
And they called him holy. And he said, call me. What do you call me? Yeah, I cannot.
Yeah.
No, I'm not holy.
Yes.
Only the Father above can be holy.
Exactly.
Why did he flip out when his mother almost
You
touched
say
him?
I'm holy.
His mother almost touched him. He said, touch me not.
Yeah.
For I have not ascended to my Father. Because guess what? If
Yes.
she had touched him, he'd had to go through the whole thing all over again.
Yes.
And I don't think that would have been possible, really. But, well, for him, nothing's impossible for God. So here we go. The Adam and Eve story. This is the CIA plan, declassified, to make you think that the whole Bible was a big thing to get you into, to get you in order and to have some type of faith in it. But, oh, yes, we can have a religion, but it's all about nature. Everything represents nature. And Billy Graham, by the way, is a Freemason, high level. He will tell you now that that any religion can lead you to Christ. Come on, people. And I used to think so much of this guy. I did. Until I really started delving into him and hearing some stuff he was saying. And then I seen him with some of these pedophiles. And he's a pedophile too. So, yeah. Yeah. This talks about Atlantis. And we join Noah, Adam and Eve, Atlantis, Mu, and Olympus, and Jesus joins Osiris. How dare they? Basically saying Osiris, by the way, and there was an Osiris. Don't think that these myths, we are most alone when we are with the myths. Why? Because the whole thing about the myths is it's tainting the truth.
Yeah, it's
but there's still
the truth.
there's truth in it.
Yeah.
It's just that they're altering the truth. And
It's
so,
like predictive programming on TV.
right, so when we talk about Osiris, you're talking about the sons of Azazel.
Yep.
You're talking about Osiris, they recently found the body of Osiris, and they extracted the DNA. Osiris is the same guy as Marduk. Also, if you relate Osiris, he is the same guy as Horus.
Horus, yes.
Right. Ra is the same guy as who they would look up to in the Sumerian times as Enki. And, you notice it's all about sun worship, Sunday. And everybody they're not doing it right. Everybody, they go out on Saturdays and party. Yes. You know you are doing a great sin when you go out and make Saturday your party day. And you work on Saturday on top of it?
Yeah, that's their...
That's blasphemy.
That's how they do it.
It's the Sabbath.
That's what
You were supposed to keep it holy. He had commandments that didn't go away, people, just because Noah came along and busted it because he gave up for a while. God, what did God do? He said, pick that back up and you rewrite it on these other stones. And so we still live by the commandments. They're just kind of organized in a simpler fashion. The way Christ put it, it sums it all up. You know, it basically says, love God with all thy heart first. Then it says, and then love others as you, or, you know, do others as you would have them do unto you, and to love others. And that is, you know, greatest commandment. That covers everything. So that tells you, basically, if you love God with all your heart, and you love others all the time, you're not going to be making graven images. You're not going to be going out and hurting anybody, period.
It covers all the rest.
It
You don't need all
covers
this.
all of your other ones.
Everything.
There will be no murder.
Exactly right.
There will be no
It doesn't even
thievery.
have to be mentioned.
Because if you love all these people, you would not do that.
No, exactly right. Simple.
You get me?
Simple.
So, see, here it goes in a little bit more detail about talking about the nature thing. And believe me, if you look at the Georgia Guidestones, you'll see this. The Georgia Guidestones will tell you about how there will be a one world religion, and it's about to be about nature, and that we're all supposed to be living in peace and perfect harmony, and that we're to avoid petty laws. So basically, they're going to be allowing some of this disgusting stuff to be just okay, because it's not wrong. It's not wrong to have sex with an animal.
Yeah, they're just.
It's not wrong to this and that. No, it's just temporary. You know, it's just of the earth. It goes back to the earth.
Yeah, yeah. It goes back to all that same.
What's wrong is if you believe in what we call false God, like there's one, a creator up there. No, they try to make God, our God, the real God, the highest, the most high, look like the evil guy. He's an evil God that's trying to keep us from being free. No, he's the good God that's trying to break you free.
People don't know that, though.
They've got it backwards because they listen to man.
They listen to the little g instead of the big G.
Well, Christ says himself, listen to no man. That covers the Bible too.
Simple.
That covers King James.
Yes.
That covers all these people that we're sitting there looking up to and say, well, you know what, that's divine scripture, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Listen, I like, as far as purest, the first book of Enoch, I think is, but it's still not divine. Not anymore.
But they held it out of the Bible, so that's
now they've messed it up. And that's the reason why I tell people to go to the Ethiopic version, because it is the rawest. Go to Ethiopia, and believe me, you read their version of it, you're going to get the purest scripture there is left on the earth. That's going to be the purest that there is left. So, yeah, if you really want to be enlightened, do that. All right, we talk about earthquakes, major earthquakes that they're going to be having here soon. What's the Bible talk about that? Revelation. So this is trying to make it look like, wait a second, we're the ones that wrote Revelation. We're the ones that did all this.
Yes, creating.
God didn't do this.
Yeah, I believe
God,
that.
where's God? God is the earth.
Yeah.
And God is you. And God, and
Essentially,
but
but the truth and the lie can be there too. The Father's in everything.
That, exactly. And that's a good point, because
So it is true.
the breath of life is in you.
Yeah.
And the breath of life
And
comes from God.
Yeah. The earth is alive.
So,
animals are alive.
It's just like oxygen.
Yes.
Everybody thinks oxygen is produced by trees
Yeah.
alone.
No.
And that everything no.
It's all from God, the Father.
It's all this air you're breathing, straight from God.
Yes. There's no question.
All right, so here we go. That's the Prairie Reese part again, showing you Mount Meru and the four rivers.
The science
That
community
everybody
wants
think is in Africa. It's not in
to
Africa.
make it.
They just used the
unobtainable.
rivers from Africa to make it look like it was. You understand, people?
They just want to make it look unobtainable.
Yeah, there's the Prairie Reese map in full. All right, there's the True Air Force map. This is kind of how the Earth would be if you looked at it on a
That's what
computer-wise
the
view.
inside of the UN looks like. If you,
Yes, it does.
it's a bowl like that.
This is God's footstool. Notice how that looks just like that? Well, the earth, according to what God says over 238 times. People say, well, how can you keep saying, referring to the Bible, and then saying that the Bible's not? I didn't say the Bible ain't real. No, I said they've tainted
The
it.
truth and the lie is there.
I'm saying there's a bunch of truth in there still.
Yes.
But that's the reason why, who is the truth?
Yeah.
First of all, who is the truth, George? Who's the truth?
The Holy Spirit. The
Well,
Father.
yes, but who empowers? Who has he given all authority to? What did God say he would do? When Christ died, he would give him all authority.
Yes. We have Christ in us.
So people don't understand that.
Yes.
And the Word was with God, and the Word is God. That means that there is a special power, frequency that God had from the beginning, and then that became what we know as Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're starting to jam that now.
And Jesus Christ became his fullest, at his fullest power, given all this authority once he died, resurrected, defeated death, went down, got the keys, and that's it. That's all he had to do. Now he's got it. Now he's just sitting there waiting for God to tell him, to the Father to tell him when. Because he doesn't even know the time. That's the only thing that Jesus is lacking right now. The knowledge of when to do it. Only the Father knows. So that tells you that
There is no time.
other than knowing the exact time,
the
and time doesn't exist either.
We're the ones that live in time.
But well, we make time, and God, and at the same time, God said, "I'm putting the sun, the stars, and the moon here, so that you can make seasons and know, and you know, and create. This is created time because of our sin. Our sin is when time started, so-called time. But you're right, there is no time. We are in basically disposable bodies. That's all we are in, and our true self is inside of us, that we can't see, and it's been here since God's been here. Did you know that? You're as old as God is.
Yes, you are.
You know why? Because you're part of Him. You're His breath.
Yep.
You're just a little out of Him. You know, you're like 1/58th trillionth, of His breath. So, but still, you're part of God. Just like what we think of as composition of cells. That's just a illustration of what the earth is like, the tree of life. And we talk about that going straight up. I'm going to show you this cyclone vortex right now. After you look at their little pictures of the terrarium. Right, and the fracture of the firmament, the era, and where the Indians talked about it, and where the dome would break in cycles. When what's his name, Bird went down there to his expedition, they saw things. They were flying around. They were so close to over the ice wall, they kept crashing into invisible barriers. Guess what they hit? The firmament. They hit the wall. That's part of the firmament. That I own that piece of rock. That's just mine right there. But this was by that same professor, Dr. Strauss, I think, that I was talking about earlier. That's his piece of rock. So it's all over the place. It's just pieces of the sky. And that we're shooting frequencies and all kinds of stuff through these satellites.
Yeah.
There you go. Boeing 747 over the North Pole. That is a real picture done from a Polaroid. This was done in the 80s. It, I think, just is amazing. Really, that. And I had these pictures up before on my regular photos thing, so I have to kind of keep them hidden on a disc. So whenever they take them down, because I'm surprised they haven't pulled these back off there yet, because that's what they did last time. They got rid of every one of them. They do not want you to see this, people. They don't want you to know this is what the North Pole looks like. Not at all. You see that power, that energy going up through it? So why is it yellow in the middle? Must be hell. No, I'm serious, man. The pit is down there. And all the power goes up, and it recycles everything. There's the ice wall. And if you notice, you can see it goes vastly, way far out there to where that is a long time before you hit the firmament still. But they were way over this ice wall. They were hundreds of miles past it.
They were backwards.
When they were talking about the planes hitting things, those ships were clear. The ships weren't even in sight. It was just the planes. They flew up there. That's the only way they could get over that wall. And if you notice that wall, man, it looks like it's at least 300 feet high.
Didn't they call it Operation High Jump?
Yes, that's called Operation High Jump. The Nazi symbol reflects what the North Pole does. Basically.
Yeah, and the Nazi symbol's been twisted also.
The Nazi symbol's been around since Vinca times.
Yeah, it was never meant to be bad.
I have it on my Vinca disc, actually. It's part of Vinca. It comes from Vinca. You know what Nazi is? You know what it actually is? It's one of the Nephilim child. It's one of the first children that Azazel had, Inky had. And I'll show you some picture or some poems of that is called Inky and Ninhursag and the Loss of the Moon. It talks about how when the fallen angels came down and messed with the women of the earth and all the sin, how it corrupted the earth. And then all the plants turned into like road weed, just, crappy stuff. And then Inky kept saying, what happened to that plant? Why did I do that? He says to his servant, Issamud, he says, that, my lord, is the road plant now. That, my lord, is the thorns. That, it turned all the beautiful plants into this horrible, just, all this bad brush. And then he'd stick it in his mouth, and he would eat it, and then his mouth hurt. It talks about that, and he's like, and then her son says to him, what's the matter, my brother? Because he was having sex with his sister, by the way. And that, but he was having sex with another fallen angel, basically. And that person, see, that's what's weird, and a lot of people don't know about that. Some of these fallen angels, when they took their new form, because they lost their bodies for where they were corrupting man, some of them would take women form. In other words, they chose women's body because they wanted men. Okay. So it didn't just go all. A lot of people, that's where it shows you the corruption comes in again of the Bible and stuff. That they were enamored with the women alone. No. Come on, think about that. That doesn't make sense because why is there homosexuality with men? Apparently there's lust towards men too, right? It isn't all one-sided, But yeah, so, and that's where you get your goddesses like Inanna. Things like that. Diana. These were fallen angels. Some of them were. But some of them were Nephilim, and they're Nephilim children. They would sometimes be daughters. They were most of them were men, but there were a few daughters here and there. The frequencies of these are the light frequencies of the angels. And if you notice, some of them look like they have barriers. And so it tells you inside the prison above that some of them are bound.
They're not appealing looking either, you can tell.
Nazi symbol again. Let's see. This is a picture I took. Now, I'm going to let you guys look at this and tell me what you think. Can I get in on it? I took that picture, and the star looked like a normal star at one time. No. This is the first time I showed it. Okay. And the star looked like a normal star, twinkle, twinkle, and all of a sudden it took that form. Okay. And just stayed like it. That is a man. I mean, it's a form of a man. Okay. Is it not?
It sort of does, yeah.
It looks like an angel standing there.
Okay.
Oh, and you don't see that either?
Entrapped in a...
Look at that light above it.
No, I see that one now, too.
What's that doing?
I don't know. Right there?
Oh, that must be reflecting. That's what that is.
Is it?
I hope. That's weird. I'm starting to trip out now.
Hold on, it's moving.
What is going on?
Hold on a minute.
All right, people, I'm having a flipped out moment right now because it shouldn't be doing that.
It's moving, dude.
And it's not. I'm looking back, and it's not from there.
And now it's going.
It's not.
Dude, it just went
and
like...
we were blocking it, dude.
Yeah, I was sitting there.
How was it doing that?
It was moving.
Whoa. All right, I'm out of that.
That's heavy.
Some of that is reflection.
That'll scare me.
What is that?
Me.
Okay, thank God. Oh my God, it's me.
But that was different.
All right, so here we go. The star again.
Oh,
here we go. Now we're getting a normal light. But that one above it, no, it looked weird. It was weird. It didn't make sense.
That was moving, dude.
All right, so here we go back to. That's why it's so cool doing it out here underneath this big stadium thing. Like, freaking, I don't even know how to say it. Yeah, our audience. He woke up off the railroad tracks. Now, that looks kind of cubical, don't it?
Yeah.
Don't it like have a dimension to it? Like a cubicle?
Yeah.
Very strange.
Traps.
But at the same time, let's see, 1,
Spear
2,
strap.
3, 4, 5, 6.
What points?
Yeah, it's got 6 points.
Okay, well, what's that tell you? This is a six-sided star.
So, 6, 6, 6. Here we go again. 6.
That's where the star comes from. Even though it doesn't look like a star in grade school.
Whoa. But stars, no, hang on. Stars are different. I'll show you what a star is. Okay. That is a planet. Planet.
Okay.
Notice the word planet is planet. So that tells you it's a dimension in itself. Okay. Right?
Okay.
I mean, so it's a dimension. So that means there is a flat level part to it somewheres. But we're looking at it and it looks like a dimension. And I think that's where they even came up with dimensions. It's really where they were like, we're going to another dimension. Well, it means you're going to another chief angel,
Yeah.
or or a fallen angel, and I don't
It's
know,
holographic.
kind of weird.
Sort of.
Neat. Let's look at some more here again. Oh, this one is a good one to observe. Tell me what that is.
Now, is that a planet?
This is another planet.
Okay. You know what planet it
I'm
is?
pretty sure this one's Venus.
Okay.
Mhm.
How many points does it have?
Now, a lot of people want to make Venus sound like it's red. I know. It's
Yeah.
not, man. Mars is the one that brings red the most. I've seen Venus turn from green to blue.
Okay.
So you got to remember Mercury too. I think Mercury is actually the bluest. I mean, it's blue. I think it was like that last one we saw.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty sure that's the way it is.
Well, how many points does that have, though?
Oh, 6?
It's 6 also.
Yes. My point. There we go again.
I mean,
Now that one's either Venus or Mars.
okay, the red.
I'm thinking it was. I think it might be Mars. I'm not sure because that last one. Hey, last one. Where'd you go? Do they look different or they're kind of the same?
They look the same to me.
Yeah, I think sometimes the color. They're you got to remember these are their spirit. So there's like energy and that light frequency from their spirit
Morphine.
will change color as basically the sun and the moon below it move around it, so it'll help kind of make the color different at times. I think that's why it does that. Yeah, same planet, gotta be same planet. That's just a really good. That's a good one. I think. Is that me?
Yeah. What is that? Your phone? Or is it telling your battery?
It's an alarm.
Okay.
It's to remind me I gotta bring something over to my friend tomorrow.
Okay.
Could you hold that for a second?
Sure can.
We're about to wrap this up. We're gonna zip the because you're getting cold, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm cold. My stomach's
got
upset
cool.
from drinking that tea. It's a nice picture, though. All right.
Yeah, man. That's what that camera does.
It's nice.
That's what that.
We need to bring that.
This. Oh, by the way, these pictures that I'm showing from the stars are from my Canon. Now people like to talk about the 900 versions of the Nikon. Oh, I got one better. 1140. Oh, boom. Canon. Yeah. I guarantee a CIA agent had it. There's another one it took.
Up in the clear night and take some
You
pictures.
tell
That's
me.
awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
I've
any
never seen
pictures like this.
No.
These are real people. This is what your stars and your planets really look like. They don't look like this CGI crap that NASA's throwing out at you.
No.
And they tell you, if you look at the bottom of the thing, they even tell you straight out, artist rendering.
Yeah, what's that all about? When you can take the picture
And then people go, oh, I saw it. That's how I know.
and you take a picture from here, you didn't run. I mean, it's just it doesn't.
I'm going to tell you, people, this is the time now more than ever that people will be tricked because they think, well, if I saw it, then I know it's real.
Well, yeah, it's just
And they keep forgetting that
just
we
like-
have high-tech CGI.
it's the perception that's put out there, just like this virus.
This
deal.
ain't high-tech. I challenge, on the photos that I say I took, I challenge any photographer to tell me that it's fake, because they'll all you can just look at it and tell there's no altering to my photos, none. Because you can tell when something's been
Oh, I
altered,
just know you took it. I
and
don't
you can
have
just
to-
look around the
Yeah.
rims of objects and you see a
Yeah.
little bit of disturbance,
Yeah.
and you can tell. There's a good one.
That is good.
I call that the eye of the serpent.
Oh wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Dang.
Now,
Yeah.
I think that I'm forgetting about Saturn, guys. And Saturn does not have rings around it, by the way. Just so you know, that's all fake. That might be Saturn, because it seemed awful bright. This one, you can tell there's a disturbance
Yeah,
in the
what's
waters
that?
above.
Yeah.
Anytime you see it do that, a line go across, ripple, that means it's like God said, there's water above you.
Okay.
Water does that.
Okay.
When you look in your swimming pool, you see ripples, don't you?
Makes sense.
Right. Of course it does. It all makes sense. There's your cubicle. I wish I got that better bottom.
Yeah, it sure does, doesn't it?
Yep.
Literally.
Tells you what. It's in water, and the light got blocked off for a second because of the water. Yeah. Disturbing the picture. All right. This is in Clarksburg. This is our perfect lodge. I call it the perfect lodge because they call it the lodge of perfection. It's the only lodge of perfection there is. Did you know that? So that tells me it's unique. Yes, yes.
Did not know that.
And it's in Clarksburg.
I know it's a powerful
I
area.
do believe that the elevation of Clarksburg, West Virginia, by the way,
About 50.
is a lie. I think the one they give it, that they
Yes.
tell us, is so far. I think we are so much higher than what we know. I've noticed
We're
a lot
on
of
the
people.
main ley line here. Route 50 gets you here.
I notice a lot of people have problems breathing around here too.
Yeah.
So that makes sense because the air gets thinner. And when you look, sometimes when you're on a clear night, the sky is like, it's like you can just reach out and grab a star.
True. It looks like you're higher in the mountains.
It really is. Right there. You just Sorry.
Yeah, I did not know about being the perfect lodge.
Yes, sir. And guess what the sad thing is I found out this stuff mostly because I have to go up and visit the Veterans Administration, and guess where they chose to put it?
Oh, really?
In the lodge. On the 5th floor.
Nuh-uh.
Right there at the bottom.
Oh,
5th floor. The Veterans Assistance.
Wow.
Department of Veterans Assistance.
Wow.
You didn't know that? I have to go. That's the reason why I had to go in there all the
Oh
time.
my God.
I hate going in there. These are the petroglyphs that they chose to redact the real information. Redact, redaction. You know, this is showing you something, people. Notice this dude in the helmet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, come on.
This is a cave that's around here. It's not too far. I think it's that way, to the left of you, and it's on the McDonald's farm. You heard of the McDonald's farm? Yeah, and it's a very small cave, they say. But it's probably a lot bigger than what they say. They just don't want you to go to it.
Okay.
Or it's this little dinky thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but they chose all this time to draw all this. Yeah, okay.
Uh-huh.
Look at these worms. These snakes or something. I don't know what the heck those things
They're
are.
reptilian for sure. Wow.
Well, some, not all. No, a lot of these are just like regular animals.
Huh. Interesting.
But then some of it I can't explain.
Wow.
Like that thing with, what the heck is that? The thing with the helmet. Above the dog-like creature to the left.
Like a wiener dog.
Well, the thing above it, and there's stars above it. It's showing the planets.
It's pretty far out.
Yeah, it is. Indian cave petroglyphs.
Huh.
Redacted.
Where'd you get that? When'd you get that? I hadn't seen that.
You have to do your research, my friend.
I wonder if that's out at the burial mounds.
Possibly.
Huh. It's out Oak
But
Mountain.
look,
Wow.
look at that. Looks like he's trying to show us
Yeah,
what
wow.
the stars and the cheap planets are and stuff like that.
That's a
The one thing looked like a high heel coming off a lady's leg or something. All right, this is a picture I took with my nice little camera. It's very beautiful, I think. Huh?
It's like an apple.
It's the moon.
Yeah, I know that.
There's that,
It's like an
that
apple.
balloon ball you used to be able to snap it and go boo,
Yeah.
boo, boo.
It's close.
That's plasma.
Yeah.
Looks like a watermelon, really, if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's got the perfect line symmetry. Now listen, planets don't have, or supposed planets or
Well, if
luminaries
it's spinning,
would not
why
have
is it always
symmetry.
the same side? I don't understand. Why isn't
It doesn't. It don't spin. They admit that.
Well, what
It won't. Even NASA admits that. No, but what it does do is it goes back and forth, just slightly, just like that. Kind of like it's a balloon out in the air.
Yeah.
Because it's plasma. You get it? It's like,
I get it.
what do you think we build our balloons off of? Or what do you call those things? Zeppelins.
Yeah.
Yeah, same concept. Except it's plasma as the actual
Hot air balloons.
casing,
Yeah.
and the air is inside it.
Oh, okay.
The air inside of it's a lot thinner, and that's why it stays up there. And it reflects light pretty well because plasma would. But your blood plasma. Have you ever seen blood plasma? Have you seen it?
No.
Yeah, it's kind of gooey like that, and got all them little craters. Yeah, it'd be just like that.
Huh. Interesting.
There's a scientist in 1965 who talks about it. Let me get to the point.
Oh, I've seen him. He says that's plasma.
Now here you're going to
I
see
saw
the
the
sun.
interview with him.
This is one of it during the day. That's a good point of mine. Why do you see blue in the craters? How? Huh? If the moon is an actual solid object, how's that possible?
Yeah. Translucent.
Plasma, like a jellyfish.
Yeah. It looks like.
All right.
Yeah, it's translucent.
This is a video. Come on, you bitchin' video.
Of the sun. The sun.
That's kind of problem. I was thinking right now.
Oh, excuse me.
There we go. A video I took over off the bridge. Now look at them clouds going around that sun.
Huh.
Ain't that something?
Going around it.
Yeah, it's going around it. Whoa.
Wow.
But it is, yeah. And now what do you think that is? Because that heat is condensation. It's pulling those clouds towards it.
Uh-huh.
And that's why they're going around it like that. This is your Masonic symbols
Catholic.
and your wicked symbols
I
on
went to
Notre
school there.
Dame.
I went to school there.
So people want to talk about the Notre Dame High School.
Yeah. I went
See,
to the, I went
this
to
is in
the,
Clarksburg,
I went to the
people.
elementary
That
beside.
tells you it's a very important place for the Illuminati.
Yeah.
New World Order.
Yeah, look at those symbols on it. It's
This is the moon showing you that it's plasma. Once again, it's got hot and cold points. There's your sun, it goes. I took with the Canon, of course. All these are done with the Canon. That last one I did with infrared.
93 million miles
And,
away.
Yes, yeah, 93 minutes. But yeah, it looks like it's sitting on the clouds.
Yeah, literally.
And, yeah,
My BB gun.
it is sitting up there.
Mind blowing.
That is just awesome. Now, I showed that to a news crew, and he said, I would love that picture, but if I got caught with it, I'd be fired. They'd be too afraid that he says, I know what you're doing. He says, I know what you're saying. He says, and I believe it. He says, but I can't let them believe that I'm going to go along with that because we're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, they gotta stay with the narrative.
Right.
I mean, that's the truth. This,
He said it was mind blowing. That's a nice one.
They all say the same thing.
Nice one. All right, cloning. There's your Matthew McConaughey.
Here it is.
Thomas J. O. Jackson. Yes, cloning has existed for quite some time.
And Clarksburg has a memorial to him.
If the Earth is a sphere, how does a compass work? Mind blower. Think about that one, people.
Yeah.
There's your pole. How the stars keep revolving around. If the fact that we were on a sphere, they wouldn't do that. I'm telling you, the firmament revolves above you. In other words, it's moving,
Yeah.
but we're not. If you were moving, you'd feel it, people. Believe me.
Well, yeah, and your compass would move.
Very middle is the Polaris.
Your fucking compass would move, man.
Shows you how the cycle, the motor, the electromagnetism of the Earth.
Yeah. Internal field.
Boom, boom. All right, we get back to the Anunnaki.
It goes
Back
back
to all the end, declaring the end for the beginning.
Yeah.
And so we got
it.
they're all showing the tree of life, the DNA structure, all this goes to that.
Yes.
The knowledge, the Kabbalah,
Yes.
the Sumerians.
Yep.
And I want you to notice one more thing, and we're almost done.
Yes. It gets
Flowing fish,
simple.
this
Yes.
is Inky.
Uh-huh.
Notice two faces.
Yes.
One's pretty or noble, one's horribly ugly and deformed.
Uh-huh.
Showing you that that's what they appear as angels of light.
Yes.
There is not the truth.
Don't go to the light.
Don't believe it.
Don't go to the light.
believe the hype. All right, gravity. I mean, how did we make pyramids? How did we build Baalbek? All these huge hundreds of ton stones. How did we lift them? Electromagnetism with frequency.
Yeah, technology.
Sound.
Simple.
Sound, and all you got to do is just, like I said, use the electromagnetism of the Earth amplified, of course, and it's amplified through what? Frequency.
Yes.
All right. Boom.
Everything.
There's a giant sitting there.
They're using frequency
Boom.
against us now.
Boom.
Too.
They're showing you how there's powers of the Earth.
Yes, and they carry their technology around with them.
They're showing you.
Handbags.
Notice the one guy's got a serpent leg.
Yes.
That's Shamash. More.
The Sumerian
More.
things, they always have these little handbags.
There's your electromagnetism of the middle of the Earth of Mount Meru.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. You see it? We're really very close to done. All right. They don't want a lot of people to see the rest of this picture, but on the other side of that bulb, what do you think there is? Boom!
Uh-huh.
There's your teacher, people.
Yes. Yeah. There's
The serpent.
what's
Again, once again.
What's behind the curtain?
The reptilian.
What's behind the curtain?
Yes, they did exist, actually, and they were mixed into man. God said there would be enmity. Well, he doesn't lie.
Yeah. True.
Enmity between the seed. He said that to Eve. And he didn't mean right then, didn't mean he had sex with Eve. That never happened. Don't let people believe that.
Yeah.
No, because that means that Adam had to have a threesome with him, because he ate of the fruit. Are you forgetting? So no, it had nothing to do with sex right then. She was seduced by his words of doing that, of eating from the tree of knowledge, saying that they could be like gods. Also, God, I want you guys to get this in your head too. Gadriel, he was the next chief cherubim right below Satan, who was his buddy. He's the one that actually did the dirty work, and they were not in the garden at all. I found some old Sumerian script over and over again, talks about it, said they step up to the wall, hearken,
Plus, he's the
speak,
father of
wall
lies.
reflect, wall reflect, telling you that he was speaking from the other side of the firmament.
Okay.
Because God put that there to protect them from all the outward entities like Satan and all of his fallen angels. The Garden of Eden was protected with that dome. But once they sinned, guess what? He took that dome and made it more outward. Kicked them out of the garden, first of all, and pulled the garden up. That's the reason why that thing keeps going up out of the North Pole. That is keeping Eden, Garden of Eden upward to where you can't get to it. Get it? All that force. There's no way. There's people that's talked about trying to go in there. There's some old tales, the Lemurian tales, and they said when they did go up it, they saw them get sucked right up into it and never saw them again. And some of them were destroyed instantly by even trying to do so. That was the Ubadian, Vinca time, all these reptilians. Shape shifting does not exist, people. Don't let people get you into that, because that gets you into believing there's aliens. No, it's not shape-shifting. It's either possession, or it's just flat out where the seed has been mixed into mankind so much.
Whatever you want to call
Because I'm
it.
going to tell you right now, you got a little bit of reptilian in you.
Yes. Oh, we're half of that. You just
Well,
pick
you,
the side you
I
want.
wouldn't say half, but you've got some in you, and much more than you did in the prior generation. So
You can pick one way or the other, and that's
right, and that's what Satan's ultimately trying to do, is knock out the original seed of man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they keep the population down real low to where they're controllable,
Yeah. That's
and
our
then
DNA.
eventually wipe them all out.
23andMe bullshit.
All right, there's the last couple of maps
Yeah,
showing you
yeah.
the full maps of the Paramis. All this to be real. The sun, the sun, the sun, the stars,
Very simple.
and
Yeah.
this false flag alien invasion won't be long, people.
It's coming here. It's so deep right now.
Yes, it is. And we end again with this, with George Morse, Dan Mollahan. We hope you have a great evening.
Amen.
God bless you all.
Thank you.
Days of Apollo, Part 2, the end, forever. No, I'm just kidding.
In real estate.
And real estate.
Real estate.
So you guys look up and don't get too enamored with your technology at all. There's going to be a day here soon that you're going to have to make a choice
it away.
and take it and throw it down.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm on here is because I know it's the only way to reach some of you. And I'm going to use the devil's tool for good for a while until it gets unusable. To do good, then I got to throw it away then.
It's black magic.
Yep, sure is. All this Hollywood Satanism, look at
It's
this.
all connected.
Atlantis crap.
Why do you think the screens are black?
Yeah. Huh?
Why do you think the screens are black? It's a black mirror.
Ah,
It's-
yeah.
It's
The days of when the hell's opened up, it's scary, man. I mean, what are we going to do? Because it says, and in those days, the mouth of hell will be opened.
doesn't scare me.
Yeah, and there's probably going to be demons walking around in here like this. Here soon. When that firmament's busted, that's what it's going to be like.
I think they're already.
Yeah. So, anyway, I'm going to just keep going on. Don't go for all this Hollywood hype that ain't, but you can do it and get to heaven without Jesus, because you can.
Yeah.
It's without Yeshua. He is the truth.
Pick
And
the
the
side.
truth shall set you free.
Yep.
Right?
Pick the side.
This has been a Dan Mollahan production.
Real estate.
God bless you
Real
all.
estate.
Hey, you got to see how they fake Mars now.
Yeah,
You can see truck track.
It's in Utah.
Hey, let's get something from Utah.
Yeah.
And we took our RV out and just put down. This is the last picture we have of Mars.
Yeah. They
All
got a
right,
couple
guys.
beer
I'll just
cans
keep
I saw
rambling.
there.
God bless you all. Say
Yeah.
good night,
Amen.
George.
Good night.
Thanks for being with us, George. You helped.
Thank you. I wish I had a little more energy, but
I hear you.
I couldn't have give you any.
But I tell you what, man, just your agreeing on these things and verifying it
Yeah.
and saying what you did, what little you might have said,
Yeah.
really helped. Thank
Oh,
you.
it's just the truth.
And God bless you.
Not that hard to
Love you.
say. Amen.
All right. Bye-bye.
Pretty good.